Welcome back, sports fans, to VIP SportsNet with Michael Dugan and Jim Sproul here today. We'll be talking about our predictions for the NFC North. Michael, how do you got them stacked?
I have the Detroit Lions coming off a 6-10 season as number 4 in that division.
No way. You really have them last?
I do. Just kind of a gut feeling. Stafford coming in his 11th season has never won a playoff game, and
hadn't been in too many of them, has he?
No, he hasn't. They had a really good running game for the first 7 games, and then Johnson got a knee injury. It was out for the rest of the year. They picked up some good first-round draft picks, tight end.
Yeah, T.J. Hawkinson, man. He's the best tight end in the draft out of Iowa.
Yes, so I just don't see it this year for him. But that coach, under the Belichick era.
You know what? Matt Patricia, is his second year as head coach. He's already on the hot seat.
Yeah.
I mean, the seat's getting warm under that boy already.
Yep, only in the second year. So I really just do not see the Lions. I like to see who you have going into that game. This season with that division.
Well, I got the Lions, but they were 10th in defense and 24th in offense. So what do? They go out and spend a bunch of money on defense. They're already ranked in the top 10. And, they went and added Trey Flowers from the Pats, who had the second most pressures in the NFL. They got Mike Daniels, the defensive end from Green Bay. They brought in Snacks Harrison last year. Okay, we got it. But you're just adding to your strength. Where's the free agent big-time running back? Where's the offensive lineman at?
Right.
This offensive lineman, this line is atrocious, The secondary is still bad. Name me a playmaker they have. Hawkinson's, he's the, like I said, the number 1 rated tight end in the draft. That's about all I see. They lost Ziggy Ansah on defense, and and one of their offensive guards, T.J. Lang just up and retired on them.
Right. So I just don't see. If they win 6 games, I'll be shocked. To be truthful. Maybe 3-13. That's
just because of the defense. But you look at Matt Stafford. He can make every throw in the book, and they've just never ever gave him that great running back. They've never gave him a great offensive line.
He threw for 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But,
does it every year.
But the thing is just look at their wide receivers that caught it. Not that high. It's just...
They're terrible.
It's terrible. Terrible, I see.
Who do you got for 3?
I have the Green Bay Packers.
So do I.
And I got the Packers because, granted, they lost Randall Cobb and they lost Clay Matthews. But Clay Matthews really wasn't performing that
early
well.
He was. Remember, he popped the quarterbacks real good and got fines, and then he kind of just backed off after getting his penalties.
But Rodgers, he's competing, trying to be the next the MVP for the 3rd time. But I just don't see it. They have a new head coach, new
Matt
philosophy.
LaFleur, 39 years old.
Yep, young guy.
He is.
Stafford. Rodgers went 25-2 touchdowns, interceptions. But he was sacked 49 times. And remember, if anyone remembers, he was hurt in the first game, come back and win the game.
Yeah.
He played all 16 games, but he was never really healthy. Ever since that first game. But again, sacked 49 times, got to do something to the body.
Yeah, especially at his age. You're not supposed to be taking hits like that.
I know you have the Packers. How do you pick the Packers?
I looked at them. They were 12th in offense and 18th in defense. And then what they do, they go out and spend all this money on linebackers, Darius Smith and Preston Smith. Then they brought in, the strong safety, Adrian Amos. Gave him 4 years and $37 million. Brought in, Billy Turner at guard. Then they drafted a linebacker, at 12th overall pick, and then they drafted. Matter of fact, they went defense both first-round picks with Rashawn Gary and with the safety Darnell Savage. And I'm like, well, this offense needs some offensive linemen to protect Aaron Rodgers. Or some weapons at least, because Jimmy Graham, even though he caught 55 catches last year, he just looks like he's slowing down.
Right.
Does he catch 55 passes with any other quarterback? You know, I mean, they had the worst special teams in the league. They were ranked 32nd in the league in special teams. And then you look at their backup quarterback like Tim Boyle. Like, really? Okay. You know, because they got rid of Kaiser. So,
I don't see them doing as well as they did last year. But you never know what Rodgers can do.
Well, you know what? They have that strength. One of the strengths of their team is the wide receiver depth, but none of them are superstars.
Right.
But
no name offense. I mean, you never know.
I wish they'd have spent some more resources on their offensive line because when you have a quarterback of that caliber, you need to have great offensive line, especially when we're aging like that.
Right. And getting sacked 49 times just does not. I'll say it again: 49 times getting sacked does not make it in the NFL.
No.
And guys, we're going to finish our next 2 picks after our commercial break. You guys have a great day. Welcome back, sports fans. NFC North, we are talking today on BRP SportsNet. Michael and Jim. Jim, I have the Minnesota Vikings coming in number 2 in the division.
I do too.
Coming out of 8-7-1. Those ties can make or break a team making it into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And that happened twice, actually, in this division. So, with Collins throwing almost 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Cousins, yeah,
they had a pretty good draft this year. But, his Cousins are real deal. Is he really worth that contract they did? That's the main thing that people in Minnesota are talking about. How can he do in year number 2 for Minnesota? What do you think about the Vikings?
Well, it all goes back to Cousins. Can he beat a good team? Can he rise to the occasion? I look at them, the 20th offense and 4th rated defense. Them and the Bears are almost identical in their offensive and defensive ratings. The Vikings were 30th in rushing last year, and then they go and add offensive guard Josh Klein from the Titans, and they drafted North Carolina State center Garrett Bradbury. A lot of people had him as the best center in the draft. Defensive line depth looks like it's going to be a strength. Their defensive end, Daniel Hunter, nobody really talks about, had 14.5 sacks. And then on the other side of him, you got Everson Griffin with his multiple Pro Bowls. You got Linval Joseph at the nose. You got Anthony Barr, the talented linebacker. And you got the strong safety Harrison Smith, real good guy. Running backs, Dalvin Cook still there. And Adam Thielman and Stephon Diggs. And then you got the rookie Irv Smith coming in at tight end. I wouldn't hesitate to put them at first in this division if Kirk Cousins could just rise to the occasion. If I could just see it once or twice, I'm still waiting to see that from him. But with the Coach Zimmer, they're always going to have a hard-nosed team with the Vikings with him there. Their secondary is going to be good. He was secondary coach with the Cowboys and defensive coordinator for a long time. This guy can coach.
Yes, he can. My North pick, Chicago.
Yep.
What can you say other than kicking? I'll just say it like this. Leave it like that.
Just nightmares.
Yes. There's not much love for the quarterback of the Bears going on.
Not nationally. You don't really see people touting him. They start pulling up these analytics and start pointing out his failures and shortcomings. But
he threw for over 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns. That's good, but they rely on the defense. The defense won them games. I remember watching them, and they pretty much destroyed a team in the first half, and it was all by their defense.
Sure, well, the 3rd-ranked defense in the country.
They did make some changes. They ended up 12-4. I'm saying they're going to go 13-3. What do you have for the Bears on your end?
I project them at 12-4. Like I said, they had the 21st rated offense in the league last year. Their defense was 3rd. It's amazing, look on offense. The Bears was 21st and the Vikings were 20th. And you look in defense, the Bears were 3rd and the Vikings were 4th. They're almost mirror images. It goes back to me with Mitchell Trubisky. He must develop. But, the coach is a kind of a disciple of Andy Reid, and typically those guys offenses all have a dramatic upswing in the second year, and I know that's what everybody in Chicago is hoping, that Trubisky's going to develop and have that arc going up. I like what they did at running back. The kid, David Montgomery from Iowa State, is really good. I mean, that kid ran on Oklahoma. He ran on Texas.
He did.
I mean, there's a reason why that Iowa State won 8 games the last 2 years. Just besides their defense, that kid was the real deal. And, they brought in Mike Davis. They brought in Cordell Patterson. He's been in that division a long time, so now they have him. And then, defense, they brought in Clinton Dix. You got Khalil Mack over there with a 12.5 sacks. I mean, and you got Kyle Fuller, cornerback, and Eddie Goldman anchors the linebackers. Keem Nicks at defensive tackle, Eddie Jackson at safety. I mean, they just got Pro Bowl. Roquan Smith is an emerging force at linebacker. So you see these stars everywhere on defense.
They have the talent. They have it, but to go deep. The thing that kicks them is the kicking game, and that's one thing that
they did last year.
Yeah, we all know what happened on that end of the game, and this year, they start off a divisional game. They have the Green Bay Packers
right off the bat, Thursday
night football, NBC. That will be a good game, celebrating the 100 years in the NFL season. I'm saying the NFC North is something that I would definitely keep an eye on the whole year. And the outcome will be interesting. I'm saying the Bears will go 13-3. I believe Mack will have more than 12.5 sacks. I believe
he will.
I think he'll probably have about 16, 17.
Well, you know what? Looking at the offensive lines in the NFC North, you might could say that, but you don't see anybody really airs it out a lot in the NFC North, except for the Lions. Because they have to.
Yeah, Lions kind of do more. They start hitting the ball more when they're more desperate.
But they're always behind, so they always got to throw.
Right.
But going back to the Thursday night game, I think it's kind of cool with the Packers and Bears. Two of the oldest franchises in the league. One of them come in 1919, which was the Packers, and the Bears come in 1920. Mm-hmm. This is a 100th year anniversary. What better way to start off the 100th anniversary than with two of the oldest teams in the history of the NFL.
It's going to be a hard-hitting affair. It's going to be a great day. It's just good to see football back tomorrow night on NBC.
Yeah, the weather, I like these matchups, like big divisional matchups. I like them early in the year when we have great weather and everybody's relatively healthy, so there's kind of no excuses. You just come out of the gate and okay, this is who we are. Let's see how we match up against a team of equal strength. So, yeah, it can be telling. Coming out of the gate, you can get a game up on one of your biggest rivals. But
and
you know what? I think it's kind of ironic that both of us picked the Vikings over the Packers.
And that never would happen in the past.
No, everybody usually they show so much love for Green Bay, and I just find it kind of ironic because we're not checking each other's notes.
No.
We're not discussing this before we go on the show. We're just coming out, and this is how it is, and it's
we don't cheat. We don't look at each other. We're very. But guys, that is our picks. If you have a comment, like us, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, like us on all the podcasts. We got you covered on all your sports at VIP SportsNet. Have a great day.